All right, so how's the traders? Winston, good to see you, of course, from Mr. Mayor Trading. All right, so I just want to show you guys quickly. I'm going to go down to the date so you guys can see the date. Today's date is the 10th of January 2023. Okay, so I'm in a trade here. I recently opened up a small account, a $50 account. So that's why my lot size here is 0.01. And as you can see on the sell that I took there also, it is 0.01. So I took this trade right over there. Now, you're asking me, why did you take the trade over there? Let me tell you exactly why. How I looked for this trade in the first place is I went to the daily. So I work off the daily time frame to get my trades, or to know the direction of the trades, or to know where the trades are going. So on the daily, the reason I use the daily is because this is where the big boys like to put in their trades. This is where the institutional, the pit bulls, they like to put their trades in. So if you can see on the daily, look at that fat rejection. So that is a good rejection. There, good rejection. So these areas where the big boys climb in is called supply and demand zones. Supply and demand areas. You can use that. So when I look for trades, I first go into the daily time frame and I look for these areas where the big boys like to jump in and jump out, or where they like to buy and where they like to sell. So now I see there, that was the recent area where a lot of selling took place. This is a recent area where a lot of buying took place. Now, I'm not taking into consideration this because price is between, I like to mark off the zones in between where I am at the moment, where price is at the moment. Price is at the moment right over there. So I mark off the recent lows or highs in that is close to that area, in between the area where I'm working. So I have now got my supply and demand zones. Now, if you look at this trade from, let's reverse out. So you can see it's been since February 2021, since last year, it's been on a beautiful, beautiful downtrend. So here's my trend line as well. So it broke through this trend line with a massive boom, broke right through it into this zone here. Now I see this zone has been tested a couple of times. It's a very, very interesting zone, supply and demand zone. So it went to the supply zone and it got rejected. So obviously, where is price going to go? Price is going to go to where the big boys like to jump in again. So in my mind, I know this is the next area of interest, is right over there. So I can confidently, because remember, I can't say for 100% because nothing in trading is 100%. Things can turn around in an instant. But that's where money management and all those things come into play. So I know that more likely price is going to go down with this pullback down into this zone right over here. So this is the next area of interest that I'm looking at. But now I know price is going to go there. So what I do is I go a bit closer. I saw, okay, and it is also with this pullback going to this zone here, it's got a nice lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So it is working its way down to this area. So mentally, I know this is where I'm aiming price to go. So let's see. From here, I go into the smaller time frames. I like to trade on the 15-minute time frame. So then I go to the 15-minute time frame to see where I'm going to jump in. So between the supply and demand zones is where I put support and resistance, where I start working with support and resistance. So on this trade, I know that I'm aiming, let me just reverse out a little bit. I am aiming for this area right over there. I'm aiming for this area right into this zone here. So let us go closer again. Way up. So now I'm looking to get into this trade. Where am I going to get into this trade? So I saw it came up. It is testing this area here, because remember, this is a nice trend line on the daily time frame. This is the trend line going down. So it tested this trend line. It got rejected. Tested it there for a second time. Got rejected again. So now I'm looking. Now I am scouting for a place to jump in. I wasn't there when that happened, so I was busy with something. I think that's why I didn't jump into this. But also, I wouldn't have jumped in because that candle there is not a perfect engulfing candles. I wouldn't have jumped in that anyway. So I would have waited. Price came down, came back for a nice retest again. But now I see I have formed a second lower high. So price came down, tested again. I'm waiting to see a nice big fat rejection candle, an engulfing candle. That's when I enter my trades, when I see an engulfing, when I see a lower high with an engulfing candle, then only I jump in. So I saw, okay, here I've got a lower high and I had a nice big fat rejection candle. That's a nice engulfing candle. So this is where I jumped into the trade, right over there. I was a bit late on that one, but I jumped in there after that engulfing candle. So I jumped in. My stop loss is right over there, a bit too low. I should actually have put it right over there. You put your stop loss above the recent swing high, which is that one over there. So this is where I jumped in. Price went nice down. I was in good profit there. Came back up. Okay. I went into the negative a little bit, but now price is starting to break down. So what I'll do is, as soon as price breaks down nicely and forms a new, like this one, there is a new higher, a new lower high. So what I do is, with my stop loss, because I do trailing stop loss, I don't do 1 to 2 risk to reward or whatever. I trail stop, because then you get the most out of your trades. You get a lot more trades in your favor. You make a lot more if the trades go in your direction, because you've got trailing stop loss. Because sometimes you put a trade in and you do 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, and then price absolutely breaks to the upside or breaks to the downside. So you only took profit on a quarter of the trade. You lost 3/4 of the trade. You lost if you only did trailing stop losses. So I'll take my stop loss and trail this as it goes along. As soon as it forms a new lower high, I move my stop loss down. So currently, yes, I am in profit, because that's where I put the sell order in. So currently I am in profit, but if it does break to the upside, I am not in profit yet. As soon as it makes a new lower high or starts breaking down completely, yes, by all means, I will wait for the next lower high to occur. Then I'll move my stop loss down into that. So then actually I will be in profit. I hope this explains my mentality of how I look for trades and how I trade, how I put my trades in. Yes, I use different trading styles. Sometimes I will, if I see market is trending nicely, yeah, I'll use some indicators or whatever, but I'm not a big fan of trading with indicators, because indicators are lagging. There's no such thing as the perfect indicator. You have to use, as you can see on my chart, I do not have any indicators on here. Nothing. No, not even moving averages. Nothing. I purely use supply and demand zones. Within the supply and demand zones, I use my support and resistance. And when I put in my trade, I've got a certain style that I use. Certain things need to happen in order for me to put in a trade. Like this one. Like I explained now. Okay, so there's a nice lower high, but this candle is not an engulfing candle, so I would not put my trade in there yet. I'm waiting for it. There it formed another lower high. That's good. And there's that engulfing candle. So that is where I jump in. I'll wait for my second lower high. I'll wait for a lower high or a higher high to show me when to jump in. As soon as you have a higher high and you get an engulfing candle, I jump in for my buys. When I get a lower low, I jump in for my sells. But I need to have these things first before I jump in. A lower low, like when I'm selling, I need the ultimate trend to be on a downtrend. Plus, I need to have a lower low, and I need to have an engulfing candle on the second lower low. Not the first, as it touches the line, when it gives you an engulfing candle, now you're going to jump in. No. I need to see price come back, retest that area, but be lower. Then I look for an engulfing candle, and I put my trade in like I've done right over here. I hope that helps. Have a good one. I'll let you guys know how this trade goes. Just one more time. The date today is the 10th. So you guys can see. I'll keep an update on this trade so you guys can see exactly how this trade has played out. A good one.